Hi and welcome back. So Dratlo44 here. I hope you're having a great day so far, of course. So we're going to be talking about certs and what value they add and all those good things. But before we get into it, of course, just the usual. At 250 subscribers, once I hit that number, then I am going to be giving away this Sky Blue Interstellar. Now, just to make sure that there is some clarity in it, if you are already subscribed, you've already got notifications on, you've liked the video, and you've left a comment with your user ID, then I shouldn't need that again. So it doesn't mean to say that like you have to keep doing it or re-entering it or anything like that. So anyone who's already subscribed, you already entered, and I am aware who is and who isn't. But as you can see, I mean, you can change the colours, you can pretty much make your car look as beautiful as possible. Think it's an amazing decal, definitely one of the best. And of course you can choose to either keep it or sell it. You know, it's up to you. Sky Blue is just a nice colour though. It goes with a lot of car designs, and I do feel like it's a very good all-round colour rather than very specific to one individual's taste. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, do that. Turn notifications on, like a video, and leave a comment if you haven't already. And of course, you'll be entered. And at 250 subscribers, I will be giving that item away to one lucky winner. So good luck to all of you, of course. So in yesterday's video, one thing I did is I talked about ranking each certificate from the worst to the best. Now, naturally, that was only posted quite late last night, to be honest. It was a lot later than I would have liked. So obviously this one is following that on. It's very likely that, to be honest, because it is such a vast subject, I think this is going to be very much something that's going to be continued over more than one video. I'll try and sort of fill it up as much as I can for you, but just bear in mind that it may not all be explained in just the one, and I will, of course, continue to do it as best as I can and explain it and all those good things. So what a lot of questions and a lot of people ask is about certificates and how much value do they add to the item. Now, of course, one thing you're going to get is that straight away, one thing I'll say is that, you know, if you are dealing with, say, people either in-game or via the Rocket League Garage, it is going to vary depending on the particular seller. So one thing is that, you know, sometimes with certain items they'll add no value whatsoever because the cert is so bad, and then there's other ones where it will add more value just because it's not a bad cert or it's mid-range or something like that. And it really boils down to just dependent on people's preference. Now, one thing I would always say is that, you know, you've got to be kind of in a mindset of what cert do you actually want and what cert would you actually use. Okay, so let's put this into perspective. So if you are looking at a sort of a small to mid-range item, the value it'll add shouldn't be that much, if any at all. Especially if it is either juggler, turtle, acrobat, guardian, aviator, show-off, sniper, and probably paragon. Paragon, not a bad one, but probably the best of the worst bunch. Those ones really shouldn't add any extra value on a lot of items unless you are looking at like rare items anyway, like a titanium white fennec, a titanium white octane, you know, pretty much like any sort of rarer item. If you're looking at the big items, yeah, it probably will add just because, you know, of the value of that particular item anyway. I mean, it's got a cert, it'll add value, but most of the smaller items, sometimes people don't even advertise that it's got a cert because they know it's bad. Aviator, they know it's a bad cert. They're not going to advertise it because actually it may well put people off more than not, and that is a big thing. So, you know, you shouldn't really see too much value if you're looking at an item maybe worth 200 or 300 credits. Sometimes, you know, people don't advertise it, and it does make such a difference in that regard because you don't suddenly have to pay a lot extra to kind of go into it and everything else, which rather helps, I will say that indeed. Right, well, before I sort of continue, let's get into the next part. So if you have watched this far, firstly, thank you. You've come across a part that isn't like well advertised within the video, and there's a reason for that. So what I am doing is I am doing a Pyros Wheels Inverted giveaway to one lucky winner. Now, firstly, straight away, I know they are locked to PS4, I believe. So if that doesn't work, then of course what I would do is that whoever wins would get equivalent items. So if you are on PC or Xbox, do not panic, you will get the equivalent value of these items, and I'll just keep them or sell them or whatever. They're worth somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000, so, you know, like anything, we can just kind of work that out a fair way if that should come about. So of course, you know, do check the other videos. The last few videos I've been posting this week have all got secret questions in, so if you go back and you actually look for this section, you should find the secret question, and then you should be able to find the answer within the video previous to that. So it started from sort of like the Plat tournaments and things, and it works its way backwards up to this one. So today's question is that in the video yesterday, I showed randomly a shot or a screenshot or a little caption of a trail that I have. Can you name the trail, and can you tell me how many assists I've got on it? Because it's one I've been using for a very long time. If you can do that, write a comment on any video that isn't one of the latest ones, like one of the older videos, so I can see the comment. I can then tally the points up and work out the winner. The winner will be decided by the 4th of May. So that will be when the draw is done, and whoever has won, got the most points, then of course you will be the winner. So congratulations to you. Good luck, and thank you very much for watching this far in. Right, well, let's get back into the certificates. So basically, one thing I was saying is that, of course, up to Paragon, they're not really going to add too much value. Now, once you get past that into sort of like goalkeeper, sort of playmaker, and those two, they tend to be of an acquired taste. So goalkeeper is very acquired for people who are very defensive minded. They like to sit back and kind of defend. And playmaker is someone like myself who likes to actually, make assists. Maybe doesn't score as many goals, but likes to make assists for my friends to score some good goals and things like that. So again, it is an acquired taste. Now, would it add a lot of value to the item? Depends what it is. So if you were buying, say for example, something like a titanium white octane or titanium white sort of like emerald wheels, yes, it will add some value to it because they're a bigger item. On smaller ones, like say grip strides, saffron that I bought a while back, I got them for 290, and truthfully, the playmaker didn't add any value whatsoever. And goalkeeper is the same. It will add value to some bigger items, but smaller ones less so, if at all. And it does depend on the seller that's actually dealing with it. Some sellers won't put any value to it, and others will. So you just got to be a bit mindful of look around. If you are looking for a very specific cert, make sure that you're checking all of the people selling it, because some will sell it for a lot higher and some will sell it for a lot less. And I will be trying to give demonstrations as best as I can within this, within the next video, because yeah, to try and explain it all in one, I've realised that it's just too vast a subject, and for me to give you every single thing is quite difficult. So I kind of feel that doing this as a kind of a sort of like a series of episodes is a much better thing, because they're shorter videos, they're not all one big chunk, one big long video, and you can kind of grasp it and then follow it on as per need be. So once you get into the sort of like the top 5, I would say victor, sweeper, scorer, those are the sort of like the ones before the top 2. They are going to add some value to most of the items. Again, with little small items, like if you're buying, say, like clockwork painted wheels, chances are sweeper might add like maybe 20 or 40 credits. There's not going to be that much on there, and you're going to just literally just see it as, oh, okay, a little bit extra, but not much at all usually, unless it's a bigger item like I've explained. Once you get into sort of tactician and striker, though, on the smaller items, this will still add less. Again, it depends on the seller. Some people don't even value things like striker, weirdly, don't know why, and tactician, but on a lot of items you will see an increase. So what you usually see, with tactician and striker, most of the items will tend to go up in value. Now, if you took, for example, say a Maverick GXT in titanium white, bear in mind that colours do make a difference as well. So when they add value, of course, the top end colours are always going to add a lot more value as well, compared to, say, pink and burnt sienna and all the sort of colours that are less popular. But if you take the titanium white Maverick GXT, like I was saying there, basically, if you're looking for a non-certed one, you can get it for around 1,600 to 2,000 without any cert. You can come across some as well where it literally, say like with score and things like that, some of them are selling for around 1,800, 2,000, which isn't bad for a top end cert. But then when you look at like tactician or kind of like, say, striker, you're looking at something between sort of 6,000 and 8,000. I know these are random, and sometimes, realistically you'll see them at maybe like 5.5, but you can sort of see that striker just on that item almost practically doubles the value, and in some cases you can almost up to triple it, which is crazy. Now on the smaller items you won't really see that, but on the bigger items you really will. And a Maverick GXT isn't the biggest item by any means, but realistically a striker titanium white GXT Maverick is worth more than a Dueling Dragons. Now to me that's absolutely crazy. I know it's a pass car, you can't really easily get anymore, but come on, let's be realistic in that way. it's definitely very, very expensive. So you can sort of get a bit of an idea of how much value these things do add. Now, obviously, there is a lot more in depth. It depends on the kind of items, and that's something that, you know, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to try and sort of show a few items within it to kind of give you some idea of what you're looking at and like the values and things, to give you some actual examples. It is hard because, you know, I've got to actually try and find the examples. I've got to have bought something with certs on it to give you that idea. But, you know, this is what these videos are for. It's a guide and to try and help and give you as much assistance as possible. So the main key things to take from this particular video is that if it's smaller items, certs won't add as much value, if any. Bear in mind that probably striker and maybe possibly tactician would on smaller items to an extent, but the others really don't generally. But it does depend on the seller, and of course, you know, the seller on, like, say, the Rocket League app or the Garage app or in game, they may want more value, and you've got to then just decide whether you really want the cert. Make sure you know which cert you're going to use as well. I mean, like, you know, there's no point in paying extra for, say, a cert you're never going to use. Oh, I'll take goalkeeper, but you're not a goalkeeper and you don't use it. That is pointless. So, you know, bear in mind that if you're going to do that sort of thing, just make sure that you know what you want. If it's investment wise, then of course, you know, striker or tactician are the best ones. If you can see a good deal on the Rocket League Garage app or get one in game where it's just like you're paying way lower value than you know it's worth or close to the normal value, and then you're getting a certificate as well worth doing, and that's a brilliant investment. You can sell that for definitely a profit. And the last thing to really bear in mind is, you know, do sort of like take into account that car bodies are probably one of the better ways to go. If you've got one, just paint one painted car, painted Octane, painted Dominus, whatever. Dominus is probably not, but Octane or Fennec or something like that, and you can get a cert on it, and you know that you're going to use that car a lot, well worth it. But sometimes you've got to bear in mind that items, are you using them as much? Are they worth the value? So just bear that in mind. But like I say, I mean, that is it for today's video. So I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to subscribe and help me towards 250, fantastic. Drop a like on the video if you found it helpful or useful. If you've got any questions, a comment below is no problem at all. I'll answer them as best as I can. But otherwise, I will see you on tomorrow's video. But until then, all the best and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.